appearances. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
RuizJr.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I wanna be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I'm on the record with pay-per-view.
My job, I know my job, I know my situation. I know I'm fine. Check it out. Fight is gonna be very difficult for both of us.
RuizJr.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Join me alongside my co-host as we dive into this topic. First and foremost, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, signed, sealed, delivered according to all sources. So today, we're going to have the manager of Deontay Wilder on the show, Shelly Finkel, just to see his thoughts on the Ruiz matchup, his thoughts on another Al Heyman fighter getting a deal done with Eddie Hearn, and just trying to scratch our head and ask him, why can't we get a deal done with Deontay Wilder? We'll be asking all our Patreon questions first. So if you have one for Shelly Finkel, don't forget to head on over to patreon.com/The Boxing Voice and put in your question for the man of the hour before he comes on. Now, you know the number to call in to participate on this show, whether it's to give us your opinion or just to call in and listen. You can use the call-in number at 1-425-569-5241. Don't forget, you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation. I'm going to head on out to my two co-hosts and get this thing started. Good morning to all, as I forgot the traditional good morning TBV. But let's get this thing started.
BoxingVoice.com.
There's never any doubt in my mind because I'm the best in the world.
It was a part of me that wanted to go more rounds. I'm a fighter.
I don't know who he was.
He's talking it. So I said, why don't you jump in the stage and fill in the space?
Good afternoon, everyone from the UK. Good morning to the guys over stateside. Yeah, Shelly Finkel's on today. We've got a lot of questions that we can ask him because obviously since he's been on last, a lot of stuff's happened. Obviously the big fight with Wilder's coming up as well. Andy Ruiz, we're just waiting for the official confirmation from Matchroom now, but it seems like Andy Ruiz is next up for AJ. So yeah, let's get into it, guys. What's up, Mike?
DBLC Production.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it.
BoxingVoice.com.
So when I stop him, y'all gonna say he was too weak. Like he stayed out like what he said was not.
Stand up for what he believe in, and when you stand up for what you believe in, you accept whatever consequences come behind it. BoxingVoice.com.
Yo. Good morning, everybody out there in the TBB universe. Yes, we're back with another one. We got a special guest on the show this morning, Shelly Finkel. Also, we got some reactions to the news that we had yesterday from Andy Ruiz Jr. We'll be taking on AJ. Dillian Whyte don't think that it's much of a fight. You know what I'm saying? Dillian Whyte thinks that Andy Ruiz won't pull up much of a chance against AJ. And yesterday, Presser had a lot of little heavyweight trinkets in there from Tim Schwartzman, number 93. Barry Hearn blasting him out about that. Deontay Wilder facing Dominic Brazil. A lot of heavyweights, man. A lot of heavyweight action. I just want to talk about it, break it down. What's going on, you guys? Good morning.
Good morning, Akan, Mike. What's going on? No real breaking news to talk about. I mean, I guess the highlight of today's show is speaking of Shelly Finkel. So I know we got a slew of Patreon questions, but what are you most, I guess, interested in talking to him about, Akan?
For me, it's all about Ortiz. I want to know whether the Ortiz is next up this year. I want to know whether they have that locked up. I want to know whether that's next for Wilder, assuming he wins against Brazil. I know Shelly Finkel won't go into it, so I know he won't discuss finances, but it would be great to know whether he is getting paid in a similar ballpark as what he's essentially turned down, because obviously we can now actually say we had his manager on, and his manager said, well, the promoter needs to make sure that if we reject this AJ deal, we get the same or more in the next fight or in the bigger fight. So we kind of have something to go with rather than to just speculate. We have news and we have actually word from Ortiz's camp. So it'll be interesting to see what Shelly Finkel has to say about that.
Mike, what about you? What are you looking forward to asking Mr. Finkel?
Couple things. First, the Ortiz thing, but mine's a little bit different. How hard is it to make a deal with Ortiz teams? How many people are you dealing with on a regular basis when you're talking to Ortiz? That's what I want to know.
Very good
first
question, right? Like, why didn't that offer from Team Wilder to Team Luis Ortiz get lost in the mailroom, kind of the way that the other one did, where they didn't really know what AJ sent, where Luis was happy with what was sent, but not the promoter. So it seems like there was a lack of communication in that camp for sure.
Second one is there any credence to these little hints that Vladimir Klitschko is steady giving off? I know he's not active, but he has been saying that he and his brother been saying a lot of things about coming back. I want to get his thoughts on the May 18th card with done in Brazil, and just his reaction to Jarrell Big Baby Miller popping for steroids. I know it's kind of old now, but as we get these guests on, I want to know their reaction to what Big Baby was doing and how they think we can make the sport better and clean it up. I know Larry Merchant said that he's not going to be able to fight in New York State. He was never under the fucking commission to fight. So if he wanted to fight, he had to get reinstated. So those guys.
Yeah, but New York probably won't. I mean, I know a lot of people are using that as a headline, but listen, just because you fell under a loophole doesn't mean New York isn't going to do its due diligence once you do apply. And outside of that, let's say you go apply in Texas. I'm pretty sure New York Commission will get in touch with Texas Commission and make sure that they're up to speed on what happened with Big Baby. Now, I won't say that New York has denied someone, maybe let's say like Margarito, who then turns around and does get a license in Texas, but different circumstances. That was, I mean, actually not really, right? Margarito, well, actually, yeah, it was different circumstances. Margarito couldn't get a license because of the eye. He had a fucked up eye, you know. It wasn't because of the controversial hand wrap. So, yeah, I think that the commissions, while it's not one unified commission for every state, I think they'll follow suit. Do you not?
I don't know. I don't know because I know that some states really don't give a fuck what another state got to say. Just like how you can smoke weed in Las Vegas, but you take your ass down to Alabama and try to say, hey, man, I was just in Las Vegas smoking, so it's cool, right? Nah, dog, it ain't that cool. But I also want to ask him about Efe Ajagba. You know what I'm saying? I know he manages Efe, and I want to see where he thinks Efe will be at next year. I know he said Efe's a baby. He's still learning the last time that we talked to him, but Efe's he's been, I'm not gonna say he's been in the ring with some fucking killers and like that, or even some top prospects, but he's been making a name for himself, man, over and over and over again. I think more and more boxing fans are starting to realize that this guy may be a problem coming up in the near future.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just bring up something real quick. If you look at the YouTube channel, you'll see a thumbnail of an article written by Boxing Scene where Eddie Hearn says, "I won't let Anthony Joshua face Deontay Wilder with an 8-week training camp." Now, the reason I wanted to, talk about this obviously is a little irony, contradiction, and some fluff. In the meantime, while we're waiting for Shelly Finkel to connect with us, we need to have some conversation. And I think it's quite odd that, you have a lot of people in the world, not just Eddie, saying, hey, it's 5 weeks, but it's a shot at a lifetime. It's 4 titles. It's 5 weeks. Mike, can I finish? It's 5 weeks, but it's a shot at a lifetime. It's 4 titles. Take it. What's the difference between Anthony Joshua not taking a fight with Deontay Wilder with the full 8-week training camp versus Andy Ruiz taking a 5-week training camp for 4 belts. There is no difference. When you
There
are
isn't.
intelligent, you
What
do
the fuck are you
not.
talking about,
When you
Nez?
are
Nez.
intelligent, you do not take fights on short notice and jeopardize your career.
Yeah, but
Why
there's a huge
Go
difference.
ahead,
And
thank you, Con. Go ahead.
the only thing I'm gonna let you go because you seem like you have a lot to say. But the reason why I said there's a huge difference is because yesterday we had the announcer on his name, my mind. We had him
Larry
on
Merchant.
yesterday, and he said by far when Anthony Joshua and Wilder get into the ring together, that will be their biggest fights of both their careers, and that's essentially what it is. That will be Anthony Joshua's most dangerous fight. He would never have stepped into the ring with anyone as dangerous as Wilder, and Wilder would never have stepped into the ring with anyone as dangerous as Anthony Joshua. So an 8-week camp, in my opinion, for those two wouldn't be enough because one, AJ can't really prepare for Wilder. If we're completely honest, you can't prepare for that style. He can't mimic. There's no one that has mimicked the style of a Wilder. You need the preparation. AJ's probably going to be based in the UK for a bit, for half of the camp, and then fly over here if the fight happens here first for some sparring and some camp over here as well. You have to take all those things into consideration as well. He's also going to say, I want 12 weeks of VADA testing or 10 to 12 weeks of VADA testing as well. That's a huge fight. That's the biggest fight that we've seen in, the last 20 years? Could that be bigger than Eve? That's bigger than Klitschko and AJ as well.
But it
So
kind
I
of
just
still
think
sounds like
the
you're
same rules
saying.
don't apply.
It still sounds like you're saying the same exact thing, right? Like you're saying this is a big fight for AJ, so he shouldn't take it on 8 weeks' notice. And that's what I'm saying. This is a big fight for anyone stepping in to face Anthony Joshua. They should not take it on short notice. But according to you, the rest of the UK public, and these very courageous men out here that keep saying, well, it's an opportunity at 4 belts. Oh my God, it's his highest pay. He needs to take it. But guess what? You lose, you knocked off. You knocked off for good. You got that long trail back. Dillian Whyte has had 10 fights. And thank God, okay? Thank God Dillian Whyte has a promoter that can put him on TV as frequently, that can solidify big matches, decent matches to be able to build his name back. But how many heavyweights you think are going to be able to have a 10-fight career comeback on television? None. Not many. Not many. So, you can't always just jump on things because you don't know what's going to happen.
First off, Andy Ruiz has a gun to his head and being forced to take this fight. He's taking this fight because he wants to take this fight. He's taking this fight because he believes in himself and he believes that he can get the victory. That's first off. That's why he's taking the fight on 5 weeks notice.
Nah, he's also taking this fight for the same reasons that you and I and all the callers argue. It's a big fight. It's a big opportunity. You got to roll the dice, but he's not 100% sure he could beat Joshua on 5 weeks short notice. Come on, brother.
I mean, we had
Think
this trainer on
logically.
yesterday.
Think logically.
We
So
had
his trainer supposed to tell us difference.
Yes.
But is his trainer supposed to tell us a lie? Is his trainer supposed to lie to us?
So what now?
Is his trainer supposed to lie and say, you know what, guys, it is a difficult task, man, but, we might lose, but we're just going to No, they're never going to say that, bro.
They're not going to say we might lose, but they can say it's a difficult task.
Come on, man. All right, bro. Like, you're supposed to be able to read between the lines. You know it's a difficult task. And that's my point for bringing up that boxing scene article. A good promoter will not allow his fighter to do that.
Ain't nobody in the fucking... Aaron Heyman won't allow Wilder to fucking take a fight on 5 week notice. Fuck a fucking promoter. His advisor won't let him happen because you know why? That's the biggest fight in boxing, bro. Why would you force that fight? Man, you know what? I'm not about to be fucking even go down this route with this.
And then go ahead, Mike.
The Wilder and Joshua fight, the biggest fight in boxing. No way that kind of fight should be made on 5 weeks notice. And for you to bring it up, I just think it's silly. Now, with Andy Ruiz, he's a little bit different. He doesn't have the cachet. It's not the biggest fight in boxing. It's not going to be $100+ million fight. So, therefore, he's not really... I'm not saying that he's risking anything, but it's not what the fans...
Guys, give me one moment. I hate to interrupt you, but I must introduce one manager, advisor, Shelly Finkel. manager to the Stars. Shelly, we wanted to have you on the morning show this morning, obviously, to talk a little boxing, get your thoughts on Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz. It seems to be 100% official. Even PBC on Fox come out and reported it, Michael Coppinger. And we're just here as boxing fans scratching our head as to why can other Al Heyman advised fighters continuously do business with Eddie Hearn except one named Deontay Wilder? Do you hear me, Shelly?
Now I can. I asked, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. So we just want to know, how is it that all these Al Heyman fighters like John Molina, Felix Diaz, now Andy Ruiz getting the, Anthony Joshua fight, Charles Martin, Anthony Joshua fight, but with Deontay Wilder, it's always this cluster of negativity.
Well, can you hear me now?
Perfectly, and thank you again for coming on the show.
Okay. No problem. Well, do you want to begin with that question, or do you want to begin somewhere else?
Wherever you'd like to take us.
Well, there is a history to the fight with Joshua, and until recently, they did not want the fight. Obviously, because we're willing to fight him at 15 million flat and fight him in the UK. But they gave every story and didn't fight us. The night that I had to tell Deontay they were fighting Povetkin instead, he was so emotional, I felt terrible having to break that news to him. Then they do all these other machinations and think that that's going to work, where before there were no options for Deontay, and the best route was to fight Joshua. When we realized that couldn't happen, we ended up fighting Tyson Fury, and that was one of the fights of the year in 2018, obviously. We're fighting our mandatory now, and we have a pretty full slate for this year, and we will discuss fighting Joshua next year. And, the name-calling, the immaturities that are in the press doesn't help, but will not hinder making the fight.
So,
as far as other... Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I heard a pause. I thought you were done. You can continue.
As far as other things, as you mentioned, the Joshua Ruiz fight, I felt bad for Joshua. He's training, and for Miller to turn up dirty is, not good for the sport. And I was hoping that he would have the opponent that he first wanted. With that being said, and that not being possible, I've been hearing that it will be Ruiz. I think Ruiz is a viable opponent, but in the end, I think he's too small and won't be able to withstand the firepower of Joshua.
We have one question coming from the public. Brandon in Cincinnati, a regular caller. He says, is there any truth to the rumor that Wilder's next two fights are confirmed to be Ortiz and Kovnacki? If so, why do they insist on pissing fight fans off by not giving us what we want? Now, Jay Jimenez, we had him on the show earlier this week, the manager of Luis Ortiz, and he basically confirmed, and Coppinger, Michael Coppinger of... who does he work for these days? Ring TV and I believe
PBC on Fox.
PBC on Fox. He's also come out and confirmed that Wilder's next two fights are Adam Kovnacki and possibly Luis Ortiz on pay-per-view. That's another reason being rumored why Luis Ortiz denied the Anthony Joshua alleged $7 million offer. So any truth to Wilder's next two fights being Ortiz and Kovnacki?
They are all in the works. There is nothing confirmed at this point. The only thing that is locked in is the fight with Brazil on May 18th. And if everything goes the way we hope it will, we will then discuss his next fight and lock that in.
Now, last you and I talked at the Barclays Center for the press conference of Deontay Wilder and Dominic Breazeale. You said that the communication lines between John Skipper were still open and that you guys hope to try to, talk again. Have you spoken since then? And are those lines of communication still open?
Yes, to both. I have spoken with John Skipper more than once. Actually, him and I are developing a very good relationship. I'm very fond of him. And they will continue, and eventually it will lead to a fight of Deontay and Joshua.
Perfect. Ru in the 504 says, does Wilder need Anthony Joshua?
I think that on his resume, the same as on Joshua's, it's a fight that should and will happen. And it will be a fight that will be remembered because it was such a build-up, very difficult to make, but the fight will happen and the fans will get to see it. Look, there's also a name you're not mentioning that's out there also, and that's Tyson Fury. And he's someone we continue to speak with as well.
I mean, Wilder's taken this stance of pride with AJ and Eddie, and I would figure he would do the same with Fury, who basically left him with all the plans in his hands and ready to announce and went and got a deal with ESPN. I'm shocked, actually, to hear that you do have those lines of communication open and that he is an option. What's the thought process behind that? Like, why not eliminate him the way they did Anthony Joshua a couple of months ago?
Because the difference is in the negotiations with Fury, we're dealing directly, and it's not in the press. There's no name calling. There's no, gamesmanship. That fight will also happen when it's ready, which will be in 2019, I believe. And the possibilities out there are immense. It's just that we don't want to be dictated to. We don't want to hear from Joshua, we offered you this, we offered you that. When the time comes to make the fight, you sit down, you say, this is what we think the amount of money is there. Let's divide it in a proportion that's equitable to both fighters, and let's get it on. And none of that will be an issue, not at least from our side.
Mr. Finkel, during those talks with Fury, has it been discussed if that fight will land on ESPN or will it be some kind of joint pay-per-view with ESPN and Showtime?
If that fight is to happen, it'll end up being a joint promotion.
How difficult is it for that to happen, being as though I believe this will be the first time ever that ESPN, almost a terrestrial channel, will be doing business with a premium channel in Showtime? Can you just give us some preliminary ways of how it'll work? Like, we know from Showtime and HBO, a fight you had everything to do with Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko. One got to air it live and the other got to air it post. How would you like, theoretically, for this to work out for you guys?
The time that it is to happen, it'll be a pay-per-view event. And I would like the power of Showtime, CBS, or whoever else, and ESPN to put their joint marketing efforts there to make it the biggest fight possible.
Now, off topic, kind of on topic. Earl Spence had everything to say to Bob Arum, saying that he's not properly promoting Terrence Crawford, that the Amir Khan Terrence Crawford pay-per-view didn't have the right promotion, whereas he felt very promoted on Fox. Now that you've seen Fox do a pay-per-view, us, the boxing fans, we haven't really gotten to see that. What do you think? Do you feel your fighter should be headed in that Fox direction? Did that machine seem bigger than Showtime and CBS to you?
Well, it's separate issues, but the firepower of Fox is incredible. You saw that and what it did for the Spence fight. But in fairness, I felt that ESPN did a very good job in marketing that fight. I just feel that no one gave Khan a chance to beat Crawford. And when you're putting on a fight of that size and you're asking the fans to pay for it, they're going to think twice. And I don't see where anyone thought Khan would win.
Agreed. We got another one coming from Rockman. He says, Shelly, Wilder has made it clear that he is open to any big network signage if the pot is big enough. If hypothetically Wilder were to leave Showtime Boxing, do you think Showtime would be forced to leave boxing?
I don't want to speculate on something that's not real, and if it were, I doubt Showtime would leave. They've been in boxing a long time, before Deontay was pro even. So I don't think that should be a criteria.
All right.
Let me jump in real quick, Ness.
Go ahead.
I just got one quick question. We've been seeing in the media that Vitaly Klitschko said that if somebody were to offer my brother $100 million, then he will come back. Have you spoken to Vladimir Klitschko about a possible comeback? And if so, how likely is it?
I have not discussed. I've spoken with him, but we have not at all discussed boxing, and I don't know of $100 million out there for Vladimir Klitschko to come back. So I think at this point it's not realistic.
Well, the DAZN offer was $60 million, and his brother Vitaly countered it in a article saying if they gave him $100, he'd consider it.
Well, I didn't know they offered him 60. Was that for one fight or
multiple?
More than one?
Yes, multiple.
Yeah. Look, $60 million is something you got to think about too if you want to fight. But Vladimir was very good with his money, and my gut is he's not going to fight. But I don't know. I just think the longer it takes, the less likely it is.
Now, wouldn't you be further or more connected to this, or how long has it been since you played his advisor or manager role? Would you not, if he came back, do you think he would contact you?
I think if he were looking to fight, he would speak to me, and if he was looking to put together a fight with Deontay, he would definitely have to speak to me.
Perfect.
Let me slide one more in real quick. We had Jay Jimenez, Luis Ortiz, manager / trainer, on last week, and he was saying that Ortiz and him pretty much liked the terms and were going to accept the fight, but the promoter did not. How hard is it, in your experience, is it to work with Ortiz's team?
We have had a very good relationship with them and have not had problems in the past.
Okay.
Perfect. We got one coming from Kels, our mastermind. Says, Shelly, what would you say has been the biggest challenge when negotiating with Matchroom?
To me, there's ways to make a fight and not make a fight. you never want to say your fighter doesn't want the fight. So you come up with all this camouflage. Oh, the BA said it's a mandatory. Oh, this, oh, that. At the time, Joshua's team, I don't want to say Joshua per se, I don't believe it was Joshua, but Joshua's team did not want the fight. They came up with all these other excuses, and that's their prerogative. If they can go into Wembley and make some big money with Povetkin, that's their prerogative. But that gravy train has ended, as you notice. Because originally they were going to go in April, whether with Deontay or someone else at Wembley. And there's no one out there besides Deontay that can have them fill it. So it's not just Joshua, it's who he fights in Wembley or anywhere else. And contrary to what people may believe, I want Joshua to look great. I want him to continue to win. And when the fight happens, I want it to be the biggest fight that can happen in the sport, which it is right now, but it'll only get bigger.
Would Deontay be interested in fighting over in the UK, even if it wasn't Anthony Joshua, say like a Dillian Whyte or a Tyson Fury?
If there's a logical reason to, both financially and publicity-wise, he's open to it.
Hi, Shelly. It's Akan. I'm from the UK. I just wanted to ask you, go back to what you said when Ness asked you whether it was confirmed that Ortiz and Kownacki could have been next for Wilder, and you actually said that nothing was locked in yet, and that you'd decide once Wilder, assuming Wilder gets through Brazil. But if nothing was locked in yet, isn't there some form of like hope that you could still negotiate with Team Joshua?
There's always hope, but that's not my direction at this moment. And as my plans unfold, one fight at a time, the public will see where we're heading and why.
All right. We got another one from King Luna. Says, how soon can the Fury rematch be made, since it's apparent you guys don't want to fight Joshua next?
Well, we're not fighting Joshua next, but it's not for reasons that the Fury fight can be locked in soon.
Now, there is rumors that Fury, not rumors, I mean, Bob has come out and said Fury wants another tune-up after Schwartz. Is that true, like, in your conversations with Fury?
That's a possibility, yes.
Ouch. All right, we got another one from Mastermind Joseph Rodriguez. He says, what do you think of the Spence-Crawford potential negotiations? Do you believe it's a 50-50? And does Arum bashing Al Heyman hurt negotiations? This is kind of a topic I wanted to talk about because you spoke of name calling and that being a tactic and not wanting to make a fight. And Errol Spence is going through a similar situation with the promoter of Terrence Crawford and Bob Arum, who's only saying that Al Heyman is a cancer or he doesn't exist or that Al doesn't want to make this Errol Spence-Terrence Crawford fight. Do you see any similarities in these two negotiations, Wilder, Joshua, and obviously Crawford, Earl, because we do use them as metaphors for each other in debates?
I don't think it ever helps when you're antagonistic to the other side. I think that's just human nature. People would rather deal with people they like. People would rather deal with people that they can get deals done with. But my history and Al's in the sport, there's ways to make things happen. And when it's the right situation, that fight will happen.
All right, we got another one from Carlito. He says, for years, Wilder has been underpaid and now his star is rising. So should his fight purses, not including back-end money, which was written in parentheses, is Wilder making more than the $20 million DAZN offered for the Brazil fight? Now, you know why everyone's intrigued.
I don't discuss.
I know you're going to go with that answer, but think about this for a second. You got a guy in Eddie Hearn for the last 2-3 years saying Wilder's being underpaid and he's never made over $1 million, and then he changed that to he's never made over $2 million, and then he's saying he's got to raise his profile and he's just a guy from Alabama. So these are things that are embedded in the fans' minds, and now they believe whatever they hear. Not only that, then you got the commissions, Nevada or New York, reporting the purses, and it just looks like Anthony Joshua has all the leverage. I mean, it's reported that he's coming to America to make a career high purse. This is Wilder's territory.
Well, a couple of things. Joshua does not have the leverage. It takes two to fight. He does not have the leverage. Two, without getting into details, Deontay is a smart young man. If he were not being taken care of properly, it would be heard. I've been with him over 12 years. I've worked with Klitschko. I've worked with Tyson. I worked with Holyfield. Never has a fighter ever said that they weren't taken care of properly when they were working with Shelly Finkel or Al Hammond.
All right. Deej in the UK says, do you think boxing can survive as a #1 combat sport if the fights the public demand can't be made with ease? The MMA franchises can.
Ease is the key word. I believe the sport will survive. It's survived a long time. I believe it'll grow because not only are the top two heavyweights, or three if you include Fury, from U.S. and from the U.K., but usually as the heavyweight division goes, the sport goes, and there's a lot of young fighters who are in the heavyweight division now, which will carry the banner for the next 10 years, I believe, whether it be Dubois from the UK, Efe Ajagba, who I work with, Fila Perogovic. There are a lot of young fighters, Yoka out of France. There's a lot of young fighters in the heavyweight division coming up, and there's been nothing like it in the last 10 years.
All right, we got another one coming from Jemmy. It says, we've heard you mention DAZN saying AJ belonged to them, but we hear Eddie saying over and over like a broken record that AJ is on a fight-by-fight contract with DAZN. Were there things during negotiation that revealed what you said is true? And if what Eddie is saying is true, do you think Eddie AJ would come over to Showtime Fox to do a pay-per-view with Wilder?
Well, I don't know what their contract says, but everything that I have dealt with has been through DAZN as of the last 9 months to a year. And all of the fights that Joshua is doing are now on the zone. So I assume it's the zone. And I like Skipper, and it's taking time for us to learn each other. And I believe that'll be helpful in making the fight, not taking them away from the zone.
Wait, so that sounds like you're I don't know, optimistic that the fight with AJ and Wilder will happen on DAZN? Not a co-promotion?
I am.
I mean,
well, it could be a co-promotion. It could be co-broadcasting at the time, but I am optimistic that my relationship with Skipper will make that fight happen eventually.
Now, is there any interest from Deontay Wilder to try and get a similar deal, obviously bigger, I'm assuming, but a similar deal to Canelo and Golden Boy, or Gennady with his Triple G Promotions, where these guys are getting TV time to bring up their up-and-coming fighters. For instance, for Deontay, it would be the Roberto Alfonsos and the Dion Nicholsons and the Marcellus Wilders on, Bomb Squad Promotions. Or is Showtime similarly offering you a match to that?
There will be opportunities for Bomb Squad Promotions to develop and build their young fighters. And I think that the zone, as it grows, I guess is the right word, then it'll have a better platform to build young fighters, and at that point it'll be something to be considered.
Shelly, is it just your job and Eddie's job to kind of deflect, maybe take some of the heat, maybe take some of this blame? Is this fight meant to be marinated, as Bob Arum would say? I mean, it seems like we could have had this fight a lot of times, but we all know the purse wasn't right. And the longer we wait, it seems the bigger it gets. 6 months ago, Deontay was offered maybe 12.5. Fast forward, DAZN is offering him 120 for a multiple fight deal. Is the goal or the process just to keep waiting to maximize, a la Mayweather McGregor and Mayweather Pacquiao?
No, it's just circumstances are making things happen certain ways. We would have fought in the UK the last time. Instead, he went with Povetkin, so we took a different course, and that course has carried us in another direction. It'll turn back to Joshua in the near future.
I mean, Deontay goes by the slogan, one face, one name, one champion, and we haven't heard that in a long time. Ever since those flat fees, that slogan's kind of gone out the window, and it's been about generational wealth and what I deserve and what I'm worth. When did things change? And again, are you happy?
They haven't changed.
Okay.
They haven't changed. Directions were dictated by people putting out these kind of numbers publicly. And when you're throwing those kind of numbers out, it's natural to be thinking, this is life-changing, this can be for the rest of my family. So you ask questions that warrant answers that are not in the vein of what you wanted before, where it was one name, one face, one title. When people say, well, what do you think of 100 million? Of course he's going to answer about the 100 million, not say, well, it's one face. So if the right questions were asked, the answer would still be that that's his goal.
Now, it's looking like, again, you say that AJ doesn't have the leverage, but AJ came out, Barry Hearn came out maybe 2 years ago saying that this fight would happen in 2020. We're rolling into possibly 2020, especially with the rumors. I know you didn't confirm, but, with all these signs of Ortiz and Kovnacki for this year, it is looking like the likelihood of the AJ Wilder fight is 2020. What is your educated guess?
It could be. But if what you're saying is correct, then Joshua and Barry had no desire to do the fight before, as I believe they never did.
But maybe somewhere along the lines that could have changed with all the offers that they made, which brings me to this question. We have yet to see Deontay Wilder send an offer that the media or that Eddie can't twist into saying this isn't a official offer. This came from a fighter. This didn't come from his manager, his broadcaster, his advisor. It came from a fighter. This is unheard of, unorthodox. When are we going to get a Shelly Finkel, Al Heyman, Showtime, Fox, whoever collectively offering AJ that fight to come do it on Showtime? Because we all think that that's $100 pay-per-view, isn't it? I don't know.
Let's go back a second.
Okay.
The fighter, Joshua, said give me $50 million and I'll sign tomorrow. He was offered $50 million. It was confirmed publicly by Espinoza that the money was there. Joshua contacted Deontay directly and said, get me the paperwork, I want to see it. We sent it to him. The next thing was Barry wrote me, don't talk to my fighter directly. We didn't. He contacted us. And yet, he didn't fight us. He could have fought us in September in Wembley. He chose Povetkin. That's the reality. And as far as leverage, no one has leverage unless they say no. Because if the other party, whether it be Deontay or Joshua, said no, the leverage of the other side doesn't mean anything.
And what about on when you guys will put together an offer that Eddie can't tell the media wasn't legitimate? Or spin it that way, at least?
Well, let me ask you. Do you think the $50 million was a legitimate offer?
I want to believe that it was, but Shelly, there was so many things with Frank Warren coming up saying that it was part BT. Then you got Espinosa saying that Frank Warren doesn't know what he's talking about. It was all Showtime, and that he seen the contract, but he didn't send it. It's so much, you know.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you. Mm-hmm. Has ever Al Heyman or Shelly Finkel made an offer that wasn't legit?
Never. Not that I know of.
So, and you're correct. So based on history, you give someone the benefit of the doubt. And if Eddie wanted the fight to happen, he would have said, look, it came from Deontay. I can't believe that. Give me proof. Give me whatever to prove the money is real. And it would have been shown. We offered to show it to Joshua's lawyer, and they never came back with who the lawyer was. The money was real. It was there. It was ready. And they did not want to fight at that time. And that's their prerogative. So instead, they gave all their logic of why they were fighting Povetkin instead.
Yes, Shelly, I wanted to say
90 seconds.
In relation to the 50 million. Was there any truth to this, that you wanted Team AJ to accept the offer before a contract was actually sent out to him? Because Eddie Hearn obviously came out and said you were told to accept the 50 million before the contract would actually sent out. So the terms and conditions weren't actually provided. You just wanted a verbal agreement that the 50 million was accepted.
Okay, I don't know who I'm speaking with, but let me ask you something. Have you been around boxing for a while?
A little bit.
When a fight is made, no matter who it is, you make an offer. If the offer is accepted, a contract follows. When I made the Klitschko fight with Joshua, we first negotiated to do the fight 50-50. Then a contract went. When he offered us to fight Dillian Whyte with Deontay, he didn't send the contract, sign it. He said, this is the offer. There's always an offer made.
10
because
seconds.
If he said, I'm offering you $3 million, there's no reason to send a contract because we're not interested. So you send an offer, the offer is accepted, then a contract is issued. And that's how it is in every fight, not some, every fight. So Eddie used that as his smoke screen, because if he said, we accept the 50, send the contract, if the contract came and it had things in it he didn't want, the fight wouldn't happen. You're not bound to a deal because you accept the 50. That's the first step.
Kind of like buying a car, huh?
Anything else?
Yes, so we got just two more, and then we're going to be done. Coming from Andre Dirakinu here in the tri-state area, he says, as a veteran of the sweet science, what's your thoughts on hearing Miller VADA testing results? Do you think a 6-month suspension from the WBA is enough since he was busted with 3 different kinds of PEDs?
First of all, I think it's sad. I think the sport probably had more of it than we realized, but there wasn't sophisticated ways of testing before in order to find out. The thing with Miller, it's pathetic. Here's the guy's opportunity to change him and his family's life, and he couldn't be straight. So whether it be 6 months or 5 years, this kid's career is ruined at this point, and it was just stupidity.
Okay, so the last one is from the public, again in the UK, so understand some of these choice words. KO says, it seems your team is more interested in making Ortiz rematch or Kovnacki instead of fighting the number 1 ranked WBC fighter, Dillian Whyte. Are you really interested in fighting and making the best fights or cherry-picking opponents for Wilder?
We have nothing against fighting Dillian Whyte. Everything we always heard, he was going to fight Joshua, then he's not fighting Joshua. Now he's fighting Ruiz over there. If he wanted to, I believe he could have been the opponent when Miller fell out. But that's their choice. I don't worry about other people's business. They have to do what they feel. I thought that was going to be the fight. That would have been the replacement for Miller. It would have been the logical person. He wouldn't have been dealing with any other outside party, whether it be PBC or someone else. But that wasn't meant to be.
Shelly, I got one, two, right? Me and my co-host, we debate about Showtime and how good of a job they've done for, not you and Al, but Showtime, how good of a job they've done for Deontay Wilder, because they had Big Baby Miller. Now, obviously, we didn't know he was going to test positive, but at the time, he was a bashful, outspoken, very opinionated heavyweight who could easily sell a fight undefeated, and Showtime had him first, and they couldn't give him a deal to keep him. Showtime also invested and had first Anthony Joshua for maybe 6 fights, and they couldn't keep him. It just seems like they are losing. Look, they had Dillian Whyte. Wasn't he there for 1 fight? Help me out here, Mike. We debate this back and forth all the time. This is actually your argument.
Yeah, Dillian Whyte's been over there for a couple of fights. Also, I believe Tyson Fury was there for a couple of fights. He's now on ESPN, and there was one other. Can't think.
So
of
my
right
point
now.
is, Shelly, you see DAZN or ESPN locking fighters in to ensure their big fighters have a plethora of fights. For instance, DAZN in the 160, DAZN in the heavyweight division. So, yeah, any thoughts on that?
Well, the zone is a new kid on the block, right?
Correct.
Okay. And do we agree that at this time they do not have the viewership that other networks have?
Agree.
So what would be the differentiator if you were coming into the business? Obviously, offering more money than they would get anywhere else.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than what Al Heyman did with PBC, though.
I'm not denying that. But that's what you do as a new kid on the block in order to get the talent to your network so you can build your network. because you're not going to offer the same as anyone else and show it to less people. The fighter will go somewhere else. And then once they, meaning the zone, offers this kind of money, Warren Buffett, the financial wizard, has a saying, in a rising tide, all ships go up. And as a result, in order to get fighters to not sign with the zone, ESPN, BBC, others had to step up financially. So that is how the business is today. A lot of it is from financial commitments because they had to in order to survive and not everything go to the zone.
With this landscape, Shelly,
And,
do you...
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. With that pause, I am so sorry. With that pause, I thought you were done. But I was just going to say, with this landscape,
No, go ahead.
do you see the Wilder-AJ fight being a one fight and a rematch clause? Or do you see Wilder having to sign a multi-fight deal or AJ having to sign a multi-fight deal because all these broadcasters are trying to be that main broadcaster?
We have never, ever asked anyone for more than a rematch clause. And in the fight with Joshua, it is agreed that it would be a one rematch when we fight.
I got one more question before you go. Efe Ajagba.
No, I'm not doing anymore. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Efe Ajagba is coming off a victory over the weekend, but some people think that it's about time that he get like a little step up, like get somebody in there that not necessarily it's like a 50-50 fight, but somebody who's going to be durable and somebody who kind of push back. Is there any talks or is there?
Wait, I didn't hear who you said.
Efe Ajagba.
Yes. Look, the kid, this was his 10th fight. The fellow he fought went 5 rounds with Hammer the last fight. He took some big shots early and did not wilt. And if you check history and go back to Tyson, go back to Lennox, go back to any of the heavyweights that were developed and built and became great stars, see where they were at 8, 9, 10 fights. And I think you'll see that he's progressing at the right pace. I'm not looking to overmatch him. I'm looking for him to have experience in the ring and for that to continue to improve. I believe he's the real thing. He's got all the physical attributes.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Look, you disagree what? Go ahead.
No, I actually agree with you and disagree with my co-host. I think that if you compare him to Wilder, Wilder doesn't have an Amir Mansour on his resume with under 10 fights. And if you compare him to these other up-and-coming prospects, not named Joe Joyce, who's obviously almost 10 or 11 years older than him, again, they don't have an Amir Mansour with under 10 fights.
Hargrovic does.
All right, I didn't say Hargrovic. Hargrovic is actually really on the fast track. You know, he's going super fast. Let's see now that he signed.
Philip is an excellent. Yeah, Philip is an excellent fighter. I know him from the amateurs, and you can compare how he handled Mansour and how Efe did. And I'm sure you'll find certain fighters that move at different paces than others. If I managed Joyce, and the reason I chose not to was I didn't want to be forced to move him quicker than I felt he was ready because his age was against him. And that's what he's facing now. He's got to get big name recognition by beating someone who is at the top of their game and recognized because of his age.
How do you think?
And to me, that's a bad way to manage someone. I'm sorry?
How do you think a fight between Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois plays out?
Wow. If I had to pick one,
Yes, sir.
at this moment, I'd go with Dubois.
Did you watch his last fight Saturday?
On replay, yes.
What did you think of it and his opponent?
Well, it's a process of learning. He's developing, and he's 21 years old. We can't have a Mike Tyson every time. Here's someone who's young and developing, but I believe he has a great skill set and he can punch. I think that Joe Joyce is someone who comes right at you. He's very strong. I'm not sure he's a one-punch knockout artist as opposed to someone who thuds you down. And I think it would be hard unless he hurt Dubois to do that to him.
Shelly, do you see more in Ajagba than you've seen in Wilder? And I don't mean to pin you in to like get you against Wilder. I'm just saying, like, again, Ajagba seems a little on the more of a faster track. He's already on television in his very young career, which means he's gonna be forced to be in those fights because the public will know him a lot sooner. Whereas Wilder, I think, had like 30 fights before you introduced him to HBO.
It was a different era, believe it or not. It was only, 5 years ago, but it was different. You didn't have ESPN and the Zone and everyone out there. You didn't have the heavyweights talked about the way they are now. And in the case of Efe, it's a very, very unique situation. He came over from Nigeria. He is thankful that he is here as someone who is learning his craft, and he's in the gym every day. I mean, every day. And most people don't live that kind of lifestyle. And as a result, I believe he'll move along rapidly. Deontay is special. I was with him since the amateurs. He was gifted. He came in. He didn't have many fights. He went to the Olympics. And coming out, it was a learning process. And he's just very special. And I think at the Brazil fight, you'll see a lot of that come out.
And I promise this is my final question. How do you think Alexander Usyk fares at heavyweight? And how do you think a lot of these cruiserweight moving up like Michael Hunter, Marat Gassiev will fare at heavyweight?
The question for someone like Usyk, he probably could go with any heavyweight. But when you get to the really big guys, look, to me, the greatest light heavyweight to move up was Bob Forster. At light heavyweight, he was killing people. Just as, he knocked out Mike Quarry and it was scary. He knocked out everyone. When he got up to heavyweight and he fought a Joe Frazier, he couldn't hurt him and he got knocked out. He fought a Muhammad Ali and he couldn't and he got knocked out. And that's the unknown. Evander was unique. He grew into heavyweight, and look, he fought with a Riddick Bowe at Bowe's peak, and I think Bowe at that time was as good as any heavyweight ever. But that's going to depend. Can he carry the weight? Look at Mikey Garcia, really good lightweight, maybe great. He couldn't match against a welterweight like Spence. And that's the big questions.
My last one before we let you go is, could you just give us your official roster list? Because I know you've had guys and let go of guys like Danny and others, but now it sounds like you're starting to sign more fighters. And why get rid of hundreds of fighters and now start to sign fighters again? What happened? Why'd you clean house? And, what changed things?
Well, at the time in 2010 and 12, when I was I only stayed with Deontay and Vladimir, admittedly. I was going back heavily into music and festivals, and have tapered that somewhat. And there's been some really good prospects coming out of the 16 Olympics group, and those are the kids that I'm working with, whether it be Efe Ajagba, his partner from Nigeria, Willie Hutchinson, who was a great prospect, and as soon as Thanos gets over his injuries, you'll see a great prospect there also. So these are fighters that excite me, and there's some new young kids, even younger than them, that are exciting me, and I think the sport is rejuvenated.
Well, Shelly, we don't want to take any more of your time. I know we went over. We definitely thank you for coming on the show and answering all our questions, answering all our listeners' questions as well. Great sport. Thank you again and wish you the best. Can't wait to see what's next with Wilder and Efe and all the others that you have. I know you don't do social media, so thank you again.
You're more than welcome, and I'm glad to do it on a regular basis if you want.
Lovely, lovely. I will email you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Both of you, the same.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Shelly Finkel, a manager advisor to the stars in boxing. Very lengthy interview. Akan, what are your thoughts, sir? What did you think? I hope that the public enjoys not only the interview, but the fact that A, we asked our public's questions, and B, I asked some of those questions that's been lingering on your minds, the way that you wanted them presented. I hope that you show some support, hit that thumbs up button. It helps with the visibility of the show. It helps us continue to get these big name interviews. We'll be in Las Vegas tomorrow morning. We have a huge talent list, Helen from Evander Holyfield to Oscar De La Hoya, Ryan Garcia. I mean, the list is crazy. Vitaly Klitschko. So don't forget to subscribe right here to the YouTube channel, because we will be live from Canelo Jacobs. And, I mean, the list of guests that we should get is ridiculous.
Hey, outside of that, break some news, though?
I don't even know, bro. Just so much took place right there.
There's so many. There's so much.
If the Wilder and Fury pay-per-view happens, it's going to be a joint?
I mean,
is ESPN Showtime? What? I thought maybe it'd be a one-fight deal for Wilder to go over to ESPN or something. I didn't think it would be a joint. I didn't think that fight was that big yet. But maybe ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's not. That's why he said that the tune-up is a possibility, to be real. Let me get to some callers. We got to keep the schedule. We still got a lot to do before our flight today. Want to thank everyone that continues to watch the show, continues to support the show. Listen, you don't have to like me, but you can like Akan or not like Akan and dislike Mike, whatever. We're trying to do our best. We're bringing you the best interviews that we can. We're giving you a place where you can come on and debate us. If you don't like what Akan said, debate him. You don't like what I said, call in. I'm going to shout over you. You know how I do.
Nez, before you go to the callers and you go to the super chats, Mike, I wanted to say this Shelly Finkel interview is the reason people have to realize how the impact and the influence that the Boxing Voice actually has on boxing, because just from this interview alone, you just know that tonight you're going to see so many articles come out and say the manager of Deontay Wilder has said this, the advisor of Deontay Wilder has confirmed this, and it starts a lot of stuff. The things that the news he's broken about Tyson Fury and Wilder, for example, being on a joint broadcast. People are going to ask Frank Warren about what Shelly Finkel said, and that originated from here. It came from here. No one else is getting this kind of access to these people. So you guys got to make sure you keep supporting, because it's making waves. The Boxing Voice is genuinely making big waves. So you got to keep supporting the channel. Go ahead, Ness.
And honestly, you won't believe it, but I would love to get guys like Dubois and Joe Joyce.
Yes.
Bro, I hit those guys up on Instagram. I mean, Connor said, but I'm not. yo, Conor got it.
Number.
Conor got to step up his game, bro. Like
bro, he on his superstar shit. Like
it's not even
right
that.
now.
It's not even that. I didn't even know he had that type of personality. I'm just saying like the skill level, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like until he step it up. But I would love to talk to Dubois, even though we've talked to him with our UK correspondents and stuff, and he's not the best personality either.
Nah.
But you know, those are type of guys that I would like to, you know, have on the show. Joe Joyce. I like that kid that trains with Adam Booth. You know, he thinks he's
Josh
Roy.
Kelly.
He would be nice to, you know, talk to him. You know, but whatever, man. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Real quick. There's like 99% of people watching that are haters. So if you feel like you're in that 1%. If you feel like you're really in that 1% and you fuck with the Boxer Voice, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. If you're in that 99%, smash that thumb down. It don't even matter. Blah. Call us, please.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I'm ready!
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
And honestly, after this weekend, I got my eye on Leron Richards. I want to see how he gonna pan out because he got some good boxing skills. He beat the shit out of Tommy Langford.
I mean, he's at 68 though, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's going to affect him as he gets up in competition because with no power, like imagine David Benavidez, even Chris Eubank will out. They will swarm him. When you ain't got no power, dog, people run up on you. You got to have real good boxing skill to, you know, not have power and do good. But let's go out to Robert on Skype. Talk to me. Morning.
What up, Rob? Speaking to the mic. Unmute.
Roberto Bonilla. Unmute, Robert.
Yeah, that's you.
Going once.
2 times.
Twice.
3 times you're out at the old.
Going to Troy in Baltimore.
This is Baltimore.
What's up? I'm going to keep it short, man. Good interview. You know, you do that very well, man. I will give you your credit for that. You do that very well. You asked a lot of questions that I was surprised that you actually had the balls to ask, but you asked them, so.
Nigga, you don't call in very well.
Right, just keep up the good work. What did you say, Mike?
Nothing. Go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
Okay. Yeah, but that's it, man. I don't have too much to say. I mean, you know what? I'm glad that you let him talk that much because as a liar talks, he'll tell the truth. So. Thank you for the interview, and that's it.
They cannot resist, bro.
I know.
You can't resist, man. You
The
can't do
his
it.
blood is crazy, bro. It's crazy. Let me see, man.
He was finna leave, like, nah. Now, you know what? That liar, as he talks, he'll reveal himself. But we got super chat from JD, man. John DeJohn. Thumbs up. Gotta love this show. Also, we got one from Slive Streams Loma 2011. TBB, keep working hard. You're killing it.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man, thank you. Rod 870 says, great interview. Didn't think Shelly would open up.
Thank you,
Thank you, Rod. And
yeah,
Adrian
we're Brandon
Taylor.
hating ass. We're Brandon hating ass with the motherfucking super chat or the call in. You know what I'm saying? UK loving ass. He running now.
He'll pop up sometime. Adrian Taylor says, always supporting good as always. Guys, hit the thumbs up.
Shout out to Adrian in the Taylor, UK. Man. He in the UK too. Shout out to him.
He in UK?
Yeah, it says Euro right there. And shout out, I mean, I don't know if that's pound or whatever, right? Pounds. And look at the other one, Silver.
Oh, you right, my nigga. Dollars and shit.
Silver is from the UK too. Let's go to Boomeranger in California, up early with us.
I won't deny it.
Dazn Beyonce Productions.
Come with me. Hail Mary, what we see. What do we have here now? RuizJr.com.
Dazn Beyonce Productions.
Hey, Les, Groves,
What up?
McCon, what's going on?
What's the
Hey, good
business?
morning.
How you doing?
Good morning, man. And hey, I'm just getting my coffee, listening to the boxing voice. Hey, pretty soon, Ness and the rest of the guys, they're not going to be able to avoid you, man. They're not going to be able to avoid TBV, man. They're going to have to come to you guys. When you say that when you're not getting calls back and stuff right now on a few of them, a few of these fighters, pretty soon, man, the boxing voice is going to be, because you guys, man, to wake up to listen to Ness ask Shelly Finkel a question, a UK question like that, the way he did, man, and it's just truly the voice of the people. That's all the reason why I called.
Let's talk about that a little bit, though, right? Like, UK dudes try to act like they so respectful, right? And in America, we're so ignorant and we're dumb and all this stuff, bro. Look at this question from KO. I mean, you a Patreon. This dude's a Patreon. Why would you use the words cherry picking just to push me to that limit? To force, again, look at Crawford. Look at Earl, right? Look at even Keith. All those guys, inner city guys that have caught feelings because of things I said. And you want me to ask Shelly, is he cherry picking for Wilder? Like, the stupidness that comes out of these people's mind, you know what I mean? Like, this is your show. Remember, you're asking me to ask him this question. Do you not want to be able to ask him these questions again? Like, what is wrong with people? You guys really need to check yourselves, man. You're not happy. You're not happy, and that's okay because I was like you until I found this show, and I've been doing what I love ever since. And sometimes it's just that small, man. You know? You guys got to find happiness, man. You're really sad. Like, 99% of you come here just to talk shit in the chat. Like, what's wrong with your life? You supposedly love boxing, but you're so sad in these comments, man. You guys got to stop it. But anyway, Alex, wrap it up. I apologize. I had a moment there. It's unfortunate not to see people enjoy life as much as I.
Right, because the words were disrespectful. That's why you're speaking to Shelly Finkel, man. He's a manager. Advisor, manager. PBC, Deontay Wilder. Is that really the question you would ask him face to face? You know what I mean?
Not even,
no. Shelly, can I get a picture?
Not even face to face, dude. Not even face to face. Like, that gave you a chuckle. That gave you a chuckle. Like, I don't get it. But you want me to believe that you're respectable. You want me to believe that you love the show.
You get their rocks off around this motherfucker. You never know.
Hey, great show. I hear the bell. Great show, man. Keep up the work and safe travels to Vegas, baby.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, man. They really gonna be hating tomorrow, boy. He's gonna see Ness in Vegas and shit. Nah, man, he's in Vegas now.
Let's go out to the dude I'm christening as 2019 hater, Brandon, Cincinnati. Good morning.
What up, Brandon?
Hey, good morning, TVV. Good morning, Ness, Micah Khan. Bro, don't christen me no motherfucking hater. I love Deontay Wilder, bro. I love the guy. He's my third favorite fighter. I just hate that he changing on me, man.
After AJ and Dillian Whyte.
Nah, at the Bud Crawford Earl Spence. I just hate the fact that my man getting Hollywood on me. He used to be the people's champ. Now he getting Hollywood and he talking about money and shit, man.
Drop the knowledge on me. What he done to make him not the people's champ?
It was a time where he was the Alabama kid who just wanted to come in there and put boots to asses, no matter when, no matter where. It was about one name, one face, one champ. Now he's making business decisions, man. I say the same thing about Earl, man. He used to be the man guy, man down dude, but now it's business first. That's the reason. That's what pissed me off.
His last two fights been his best two opponents, my nigga. He's still putting boots to asses, my nigga. What you talking about?
I ain't gonna say put a boot to Fury ass, but
hey,
I ain't gonna give him that.
Who wants the rematch?
Wilder. And I've came on here and called Fury a pussy numerous times for that. I ain't saying Wilder ducking no smoke. I just like I said, man, he becoming business first, man. It was a time he was just a country boy from Alabama that wanted to knock motherfuckers out. But I understand, you get more power in the game.
Cut it.
Damn, niggas can't evolve. Niggas can't grow up. Niggas can't mature. Niggas can't make better business a decision closer to the end of their career. Come on, big dog. We ain't 25 no more. We ain't 27 no more either. 31, 33.
Mike, you were saying that, but you have to remember as well. Like, say for example, this continues, and say Deontay Wilder one day turns around and says, "Okay, no more access for my camp life. I don't want Nez to do camp life anymore. Nez, you can do one-on-one interviews with me, but I don't want you to be in my gym anymore." Nez could turn around and come on this show and say, "Do you know what, guys? I've seen Deontay Wilder change a bit. You know, we used to do his camp life. We used to spend a week up there or 2 weeks up there. So I can understand why someone would call in and say, "Do you know what?"
Said tell Ness that he can't come to the gym.
No. I didn't say. What if he said? What if Deontay Wilder one day said, "I don't."
He's not the kind of guy.
Yeah, but the caller that just phoned in said he feels that Deontay Wilder has changed with him. He feels he's changed a bit. And you said, can't he evolve? What if Deontay Wilder wants to evolve even more? What if he wants closed camp lives and closed training sessions?
I don't think so, because I've seen overheard of when
but that does happen though.
Pissed at Ness.
No, I hear you, but that does happen though. You know, fighters do evolve. Listen, I used to get in Earl's camp. I used to get in Thurman's camp. Fighters, some fighters get to a level and they got a crew now. They got a crew with cameras.
But bro, he been pissed at you right or wrong.
You right. Listen, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I'm just saying there is a Khan's argument. Listen, we gotta go to a boomeranger. Yeah, you're saying what?
I'm saying that he's been mad at you, and y'all have talked it out and like blase and worked it out, and y'all still got a working a friendship or whatever you want to call it. You're still able to go down there, so it's not like he hears something and he's not gonna be mad or not. He's gonna hit you up like a real guy should, and not just block you on motherfucking IG. No offense to nobody who blocks people on IG. Dillian Whyte, Earl Spence,
Terrence Crawford.
We ain't blocked on Terrence Crawford. Even though he mad at you.
He just don't reply.
Even though he mad at you, we ain't blocked.
He just don't reply. All right, we're going to KO.
Take a moment if you know the words. Come on.
Hello?
What up?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, kinda, but yeah, come on with
it. Yeah. Listen, I just wanted to shout out you guys. You guys are putting in the work. Most of the time you're biased, but I can't fault your work ethic. So I have to shout you guys out. And thanks for asking the questions as well. I mean, left to me, I think Shelly Finkel deflected quite a few important. Definitely deflected my question. Because, you know, the fact of the matter is he's been cherry picking fighters for a while.
He's a cherry picking guy.
And that's what they've been doing for Wilder's career.
What made you want to put cherry picking in your question?
Why would he fight Dillian Whyte? And why don't they talk about fighting Dillian Whyte? We asked him the question.
He said they would love
and he talks about AJ fighting. He talks about AJ fighting Dillian Whyte. You know, that's clearly deflecting. That's not what. It's all right. We know what's going on. It's the Wilder Protection Program. It's all good. But yeah, shout out, guys. Shout out to what you guys are doing.
Your call is horrible, bro. Maybe if you put more respect in your question,
you guys
he would
cannot
put more
use
respect in his answer. How about that?
Man, no
Think about that.
What?
And I have to say as well, the fact that Nez actually said and used the word cherry picking, he asked the question that you wanted. Like, he asked the question that you wanted. You can't have control over how someone else like answers it. Your question was actually asked. So yeah.
And sometimes I hear Ness ask the question, I'll be like, bro, you couldn't rephrase that motherfucker.
Sometimes I want to, but again, I'm trying to be true to the post. But it just shows you the lives of these people. It's like, I'm so sad that I'm gonna go ahead and get my rocks off. Let me disrespect.
Then he called in and tried to defend the motherfucking question.
Listen, man, fuck, I got another mastermind. Holy shit. Yo, we gotta get the drive-by after this because
Javier on too.
That's what I'm saying.
I want Joshua. Joshua, come and see me, baby. No more hiding, no more ducking, no more dodging, no more excuses.
My bad, Javier, nigga. I been seeing, nigga. I just forgot about you like every call.
Yeah, man, nigga talking about some KO, man, nigga boomerang, man, fuck out of here. Hey, bro, Brandon, that nigga tripping, bro. Talking about some why he getting business minded, why he just can't put boots to asses, nigga. What the fuck? He supposed to just be a dumb nigga from Alabama. That's what y'all want. That's what y'all want. Dumb nigga from Alabama who just fight. Niggas can't evolve like Mike said. That's like a nigga saying, Jay-Z, I want you to go back.
Javier, man.
That's like, hey, man, I want Jay. Why Jay-Z got to be so business-minded now? Why don't he go back to selling drugs? Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Niggas evolve. Niggas get better. In the con, stop putting false shit out here talking about something. What if Wilder doesn't let you in the captain anymore? Stop putting that. My channel, we ain't like that in Alabama, nigga. Stop it, bro. Y'all might be like that. AJ like that. We ain't like that over here, my nigga. I'm gonna put that out there for you, player. Hey, I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear what you talking about, homeboy. Don't do that over here. You do that in the UK. AJ ain't let a nigga in his camp since he started. That nigga, he don't even like y'all over there. Nigga don't like people, bro. All I'm telling you is, we wholesome people over here. We let niggas in. We ain't like that. We ain't turning on niggas like AJ. AJ will turn on a nigga quick. I can tell how he act. So stop putting these false shit out on my champ, big dog, because you're lying. You trying to lie quick, talk some Mike. What if you don't let him in? You're lying. And Shelly a real nigga. Shelly don't lie about nothing. Y'all niggas say Eddie don't lie. Well, Shelly don't lie. That's what y'all do. I'm telling you, Shelly telling the complete and whole truth. Ain't a lie in there. Ain't nothing but facts with Shelly speaking. And Barry, I got something for you. Barry Hearn, you a different type of nigga talking about slave trading. Y'all niggas ain't want to talk about that. Barry talking about he a slave trader. Don't nobody want to speak on that. Barry, whole nother type of
me, man. He lost a lot of cool points with me.
Barry Hearn said he a slave trader and they was slaves and they was on slave contracts and they ain't want to call. Now you got to call Dillian Whyte, Mr. White. What you wanted to call him, nigga? That was what he wanted to say? I guess that's what he used to call him back in the day. Fuck it, man. I'm speaking what don't nobody want to say because y'all niggas scared to say it.
Talk your shit, Javier,
shit.
Nigga.
Y'all niggas scared to say it. That nigga said what he said. Nigga talking about some slave trading. That shit ain't gonna fly over here, big dog. That old nigga need to be slapped for that bullshit. Talking about I was a slave trader back then.
Don't slap me now, Javier. Don't slap
fuck
white
that.
man now. You can't
Slap
do that. You going to jail.
That nigga head. That shit ain't real.
Cut it.
All right, yo, we going to drive by. So you getting about 30 seconds. Get your shit together.
Drive by.
Because we got to go. So, if you like what you're hearing, hit that thumbs up button.
Drive by.
Smooth.
Tank, talk to me.
Maybe I just
TVV, salute, man. Good interview. Hey, this to the UK fans. About a couple of years ago, you guys were complaining that we don't support our American heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder. But because of this show, a lot of notoriety has been made towards the champion, and we're supporting him. And if you are not able to accept the fact that we do support the heavyweight champion of the world, then you have a problem. And so all you guys in the comments making these negative comments towards the show, you need to get a life. That's my call, fellas.
Straight up.
So true, man. I don't get it, man. I'm telling you, people don't have nothing else to do. Eric,
I love
talk
the
to me.
energy from the callers there. I love it.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi, I've been listening to the show for a while. I'm from the UK. It's my first time calling.
What's going on, Big Dog?
Welcome to the show, my friend. What part of the UK you calling in from?
Doncaster.
It's nice. All right. So talk to us.
No, I just wanted to ring up and say congratulations on the show. And it was a great interview with Shelly.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Thanks for first-time caller, and thanks for listening. Obviously, we're going to get to some other callers, but we do appreciate it. Casey, talk to me.
What's going on, Casey?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah. First of all I want to say to that guy that's saying Deontay Wilder is different, shut the fuck up. People evolve year by year. This man is 33 years old. He's got kids. He's got relatives. That it's all about money at the end of the day. You got bills to pay, my nigga. Also, boxing is it's a business, man. Real talk. And Floyd Mayweather just gave us the blueprint. And if you're the same guy you were 3 years ago, then my nigga, you gotta change. You gotta evolve out here. But anyway, all I wanna say is that's all, man. You gotta evolve, man. You can't be the same guy last year, bro. Something new has to add to your life. You gotta
Cut it.
totally
in the words of the
agree
great
with you,
Malcolm
though.
X, if I'm the man I was 10 years ago, then I just wasted 10 years of my life.
Yeah, man, I totally agree, man. Bro, if I was the same dude from 5 years ago, bro, I'd be sad right now. You know
Yeah,
what
I'd be
I mean?
in jail.
You know what I'm saying?
If I was the same thing I was 5 years ago, 2014, I'd be in jail.
Exactly. So, congratulations to everyone that wants to continue to progress in their life in whatever fashion you can. All you have to do is believe that you can. We're going out to Awali on Skype in the UK.
Yo, what's happening, TBV? What's happening?
Not that
Another
internet,
good show.
that's
And what
for
I can
sure.
say that was actually kind of true, man. Huh?
Not that internet, that's for sure.
Shut the fuck up, man. Listen, another good show anyway. It's going to be everywhere, like Khan said. But all I got was the same old bullshit, same old rhetoric. Yeah, it was AJ's fault. All that's... We're tired of that shit, man. And he deflected clearly when it comes to the fight with... what's his name? Dillian Whyte. He clearly deflected that. So it's the same old bullshit. When the fights happen, they happen. We're just going to sit back and watch what happens, man. It's the same old bullshit. They didn't want it. They didn't. They still. What's the point of coming on for that shit, man? We knew what we was gonna say. Bullshit, man. When it happens, it happens.
Cut it.
Boomerang and Sal, talk to me.
Hey, I'll keep it short. This for Mike. Hey, Ness. Oh.
Damn, Sal, what the fuck?
Is that Sal, nigga?
I mean, I don't see nobody. I can't even lie. I do wait. Let me
I was
see.
trying to say, like, God damn, I know Sal don't call in like that,
Sal,
man.
you ready? Start over, man. Sal.
Like you got on mute.
Sal.
Niggas probably got
Oh,
a phone.
can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, start over. Go ahead, go.
Why he just disappeared like that, man? He just gonna
say, service messed up, bro.
Oh, you guys got network issues over there, man.
Finally you get to say it. Sal
That
making
nigga
us look
Missouri,
bad.
He ain't nowhere around me.
Sal making us
that's
look bad, bro.
That's Missouri shit.
Oh man, and then I got this other dude. He don't know how to connect to the call. I just keep adding him, and he don't know how to connect right here.
Somebody jumping around, breathing and shit, bro.
Look,
you got
I'm
niggas
out,
here
bro.
doing gymnastics on the phone.
I call back.
We
in
hear
later.
you now. We can hear you now. Wherever you move to. He got
Can
out
you hear
the
me?
closet.
Am I clear?
He got out the closet. He was trapped in the closet.
I got poor connection and shit, but hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Alright. Check this out. Since I'm a mastermind now, take $20 aside and put it to the Mike Hat Fund. I'm tired of seeing this nigga wear the same hats every goddamn day. RP neighborhood.
Man, he tried to kill my hat. Truth be told, nigga, I got like 16, 17 hats, nigga. I don't even like change them up that much.
I mean, is he a man?
I just bought a new one yesterday. Check me out down in Vegas.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I didn't know he was a mastermind. I thought he was a boomerang. Maybe he upgraded. But listen, yo, we out. Want to thank everyone that's listening to the show. Future, present, past, it doesn't matter. Helps with the visibility of the show if you hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We finally reached 100,000 this year. We're looking to get to 200,000. We could only do that with your help. Remember, your thumbs up. You're sharing this on social media, on your Facebook wall, sharing it on Instagram. Whatever forms of sharing that you can come up with helps the show get bigger. The bigger the show, the better the interviews. The better the interviews, the more pleased the listeners. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. And you can catch my co-host at...
On my way out, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Follow me on IG at Gross1911 or on Twitter at Gross2312. And I just want to thank Mr. Finkel for coming on and thank you for his time. And yeah, we do really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for the support, guys, and tuning in. Make sure you keep subscribing, liking, sharing the show. Can only get bigger. Catch you on the next one.
Let me get to these last two super chats, man.
Riding A7L, right? Is it
shit, we got
four.
John Rodriguez Garcia says, Brandon the real fanboy. We got one from Ezra Fernandi. I don't fucking know. Fernand. Keep up the good work and great questions, guys. Thank you, brother. Another one from Adrian Taylor. From the UK, always look forward to the 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. shows, even though Ness pissed me off sometimes, but I've learned to understand that's just his character. LOL. Big ups to you, Adrian Taylor, man. Thanks for the support. And the last one, a serious one, from Rod870. If Barry said they used to run boxing like a Nazi camp, his ass will be out of boxing today. But it's easy to target blacks. No one will speak on it. I definitely think a lot of people have been speaking on it, bro. A lot of the YouTube channels that I see have said something about it, and a lot of stuff on Twitter has been going about it too. So I don't think it's as swept under the rug as you may think. But I would have liked to see Dillian Whyte kind of.
Yeah, I think he was in an awkward position though, because it's like that's your press conference for your next fight. So how is he? I know you want.
Yeah, but wouldn't it get more publicity if he would have got outraged?
What? Like what?
It would have. I get that, but this is
bro. Certain words shouldn't come out of certain people's mouths. You know what I'm saying? Slave. Nah, that ain't it, bro. It ain't it.
I think he was uncomfortable though. Looking at Dillian Whyte, it wasn't like a comfort. He wasn't joining in. He was very.
It was difficult for everybody. I'm sure it was difficult.
Let that have been wild. My head might got socked or some shit. I don't know. But I'm out this bitch, man.
To this day. To this day. To this day.